I don't think we're going live right now.
Live stream, YouTube, Skype. How to stream YouTube live from a Skype call. Hit start streaming in OBS, and then this is the same thing.
I'm missing something.
Yeah. Here, go to Google live stream YouTube Skype. And the first thing that comes up is how to stream you to YouTube live from a Skype call.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. That was the one I had before. So,
Okay.
I mean, that helped me get there. But now I don't fucking remember how to get there. Let me see if I do this. Go live. Right? Okay. Oh, shit. It has been live.
Yes!
Nobody can see or hear anything.
What's the problem?
Yeah, well, because it's not connected. Or at least I am. Maybe I'm connected and they can only hear me. So this entire time, because it looks here live and it's been 5 minutes, 6 minutes and 10 seconds.
So how do I get there? I want to hear it.
Oh shit, no, they can hear me. Time, because it looks here live and it's been 5 minutes, 6 minutes and 10 seconds.
So how do I get there? I want to hear it.
Oh shit.
It's on YouTube?
Oh shit, they hear you too?
Under what? What's it under?
I don't fucking know.
What do you mean? How do you know they're hearing me if you don't know?
Because I'm listening to it.
Under what? What's it under? On your computer.
Oh yeah, I'm on there right now.
It's on All Up in Your Geek, the All Up in Your Geek page.
All Up in Your Geek live chat.
Yeah.
All Up in Your Geek live chat. Let's see. Live web. Nope, that's not it. Meet the live chat team. Nope. It's on YouTube?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why. Because
I literally said YouTube.
yeah, no, I know, but it's not coming up.
If I could figure this.
YouTube live, All Up in Your Geek show. No, that's not us.
You just said that was some other shit, bro.
Yeah, no, I know, but that's all that's coming up.
No, go into YouTube. Don't Google us. Go into YouTube. Like, go youtube.com and then look for the All Up in Your Geek page that has our Bitmojis on it.
All right, hold up. YouTube.com.
The delay is funny.
Yeah, it is.
All right, here we go. YouTube.com and then All Up in Your Geek. All right. There it is. The All Up in Your Geek. 31 videos, 29 subscribers. That one? Yeah, it says live stream, 2 watching.
It's Bob and someone
holy
else.
Shit. Yep. But how come it still says 2 watching? I'm in it now.
I don't know if I count.
I see. But it said 2 watching before I went in.
Oh, I don't know.
Let's see. I'm trying to see if I can. Let's see. So started streaming 8 minutes ago. Now, can we link this somewhere?
I'm sure we can, but I'm working on the video right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, this is good. All right, so while you're working on this video, I'm going to get us something to talk about. Did you guys see
content as is?
So, we all know that the WWE Network has moved over to the Cock, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that the Cock of Pete?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
The Peacock.
Yes.
Peacock recently confirmed that they were going to review all 17,000 hours of WWE Network content to ensure it aligns with their standards and practices in this year of 2021.
Yes, I read that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, one of our all-time favorite parodies, gentlemen, the infamous DX parody of the Nation of Domination,
Mhm.
from the July 6th, 1998 WWE Raw episode
Correct.
has been removed from the WWE network. You believe this shit?
I believe it.
Unbelievable.
Why? I'm sure there was nothing offensive about X-Pac dressing up as Mark Henry.
I believe it.
But
I mean,
this is
it wasn't.
history.
It wasn't just that. I read somewhere that they also removed the whole. Was it Piper and Junkyard Dog or Piper and Bad
Yes.
News Brown, where he did the
Bad News Brown.
half blackface?
Yes.
They removed that also.
They did. And I have an issue with it. I get it's not accepted. It's not socially acceptable in the PC world that we live in 2021. By the way, I do not hear the echo anymore
Okay.
of the playback. Are we still live streaming here?
Yes. Well, I took the volume off on my end, so you didn't have two audios coming in.
I see.
Right.
Okay, but we're still live.
It's still showing we're live.
So, what the fuck? I get it. I get, as they would say, it has no place in our world today. But I think it's extremely important, as we've discussed before, to uphold history in its most accurate, raw fashion. Not to be offensive, but I think it's important that we know where we came from.
My question is, can I still see Triple H dressed as Kane having sex with a corpse in a funeral parlor? Because that is, the greatest Raw segment of all time, hands down.
I should hope so. I don't know.
Well, this goes back to what I've been saying this whole time. Who is making these decisions, right? Because if they keep the necrophilia but lose the racist stuff, what are they really saying? They're only saying that there's certain things that will trigger people when everything triggers everybody. How about are they going to pop out, or I'm sorry, are they going to edit when Austin stuns Stephanie McMahon or Linda McMahon or Stacy Keibler or any of the other ladies of wrestling that he stunned? Like, come on. You know what I mean?
Where do you draw the line? Right.
It's entertainment, and you're right. I understand. I understand that this was something, and I'm not going to say acceptable back then, but they were able to do back then, and maybe those things can't get done now. But there were a lot of things that happened back then that can't get done now, and they're not necessarily getting rid of it because it's part of history. You know what I mean? So where do we draw? Who's making these decisions, and where are we drawing the line? And why are certain things being blocked and other things not? Why is it okay to dress up as Kane and fuck a corpse, but it's not okay for X-Pac to do a Mark Henry impersonation? Because he was not doing blackface, in my opinion. He was impersonating someone else.
Well, Lou, I pulled up the picture of X-Pac as Mark Henry. I just want to point out that his face is indeed black.
Yes.
I know that he put black paint on his face, but this was not done to like embarrass Mark Henry in a way that shows protest or anything like that. This was a skit similar to like a Saturday Night Live skit or any other comedy skit. It's just done in professional wrestling.
Right.
Furthermore, for the record,
yes,
Triple H's face as The Rock is brown. And I don't know who the Road Dogg is supposed to be, but his face is also.
I think he was. I think he was supposed to be D-Lo.
Right.
Yeah. He's B-Lo. Sorry, he's B-Lo.
Oh man, that was an all-time great segment, and not because it was racist.
No,
it was entertaining, and it got the feud over. It progressed the feud.
This was a time of wrestling that had racy shit. And
Right.
I don't mean racy like in race or ethnicity. I'm talking about in content in general. They had these parodies going on with people dressing up like other people. They had lesbian stuff going on. They had love stuff going on. They had gold dust. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I think you made a great point. Then where do you draw the line? The racial stuff isn't okay, but why is it okay to hit a woman? So it's okay to hit a woman, but it's not okay to wear blackface?
It's not okay to do any of those things.
Uh-huh.
But this is a different time. You know, we can't keep going back further and further and further in time to try to correct these things now because we don't want people to see it, because we don't want people to get triggered. No, people should see it and formulate their own opinions. If they're bothered by it and it offends them, they're entitled to that feeling. If it doesn't, they're entitled to not let it bother them. If they find it entertaining like we did at that time growing up, because it was a different time for us growing up, then okay.
No, look, Lou, I'm not too proud to say that I still find that entertaining. It's not because I'm racist. It's not because I would hit a woman. It's entertaining stuff. It's funny. It put a smile on my face. They weren't making fun of this group because they were black. They were parodying the other group who happened to be black in this case. So, for example, Bob talks about it all the time. There's also that skit where Shawn Michaels and Triple H impersonate Vince McMahon and Shane McMahon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, that is probably my all-time favorite Triple H skit, who I hate. I hate Triple H. But I love that skit because it was so well done. And in that skit, he did not have to wear blackface because Vince wasn't black.
Mm-hmm.
But if Vince was black, then it would have made the skit better if he appeared black as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think people aren't, they're just so quick to, be offended or jump down someone's throat or have an issue that they're not looking at it rationally and logistically and saying, look, they were just parodying the other group. I don't know who it was. I don't even think it was a wrestler from DX, but there was somebody in that skit who came out as Owen Hart.
Right. I don't think it was a wrestler. I just think it was some kid that did an impersonation.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It was not a member of DX.
Mm-hmm.
DX. It was just some nobody. And he came out, he was thin, but he was obviously supposed to be Owen Hart. And I thought that guy was as funny as any of the other guys who were in blackface. And he was not in blackface.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just funny because he came out with the big nose, and he was a chicken little thing.
And he was wrapped in caution tape with the with the outfit, and he had like the little wart on his nose, and he was doing
and
the
that was funny.
Yeah.
Right, and that was funny because he was making fun of Owen Hart. Now, I thought the other gentlemen who were making fun of the other members of the Nation of Domination, who were black, I thought they did a fantastic job also. And it's my understanding from what I've read, and I'm not there, so I'm not pretending I know more than anybody else,
Mm-hmm.
but the information that I had available to me, nobody in the Nation of Domination had any issue with it either.
No, it was my understanding at that time that everything had already been approved and there was no issue. But there wouldn't have been back then. This is what professional wrestling was doing.
Right, so why is it okay then after the fact, what are we, 20, 23 years, 24 years after the fact, for people who weren't even part of the storyline, fans, and, just the general public, what right do they have to get upset over this? They don't. They have no fucking right.
But is it even the fans? I don't even think it's the fans. It's NBC or Peacock or whoever it is that's going through these 17,000 hours of content and going through it. Like, what else are they going to remove? Like, are they going to go way back, further back than that and take even more? Because they've got a lot of content on there.
That was what I was going to say. I mean, if you're going to start scrubbing for offensive content from the WWE, like, I'll see you in like 5 years because,
right.
I mean, there's so much shit that they've done.
How about every gimmick that they ever gave to a black wrestler
Yeah.
being offensive?
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Like we.
How about
or all the shit that they did with the divas? Like everything was like everyone was a hooker or sleeping with this one, and the other one was the old lady was giving birth to a hand. I mean,
and how about you can go ahead and remove all of the $1 Million Man stuff with Virgil?
Right.
Because he's just a slave trader.
Yeah.
You know, where that was a significant part of their history. And look, I grew up watching that, and never once did I think of Virgil as Ted DiBiase's slave. Never.
No. That's not how that's not how he was portrayed.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But after the fact, it's so easy to go back and just say, oh, well, Ted DiBiase.
Yeah, look at this.
Right, was the owner, and Virgil was the slave. And I think that's it's not fair. It's not fair to the guys who portrayed those characters. It's not fair to the way society was back then.
No, I don't disagree. It's like if anybody is watching any of that stuff, from the DiBiase stuff to the Junkyard Dog stuff to the blackface stuff with Piper and with the parody that DX did on the Nation of Domination. If anybody is looking at that and is feeling uncomfortable about it or is triggered, then talk about it. Work it out.
Right.
You know, it almost feels as if it's being internalized. And the automatic response to all companies and anyone who has similar content or similar anything is like, just take it off. Don't do it. Take it off. Don't do it. And granted, there's certain things that in this environment maybe shouldn't get done. And I don't know what those things are, and I'm not going to guess. I don't make those decisions. Whatever I find funny, I find funny. Some of the things I find funny are offensive. Some of them are not.
Right.
Some of the things I say are funny. Some of the things I say are offensive. I've said things that have triggered people. And if it makes them feel that way, I do apologize, because I don't mean to make anyone feel that way. But I mean, this is not stuff that we should be controlling and policing now. It happened already.
And let's not get this twisted. It was as unacceptable back then as it is now. We had a family in the town that we lived in. My brother and I, we're about 4.5 years apart. Mm-hmm. Our best friends were African American, and in the town we grew up in, in the mid '80s, there were not a lot of African American families. However, my brother had a best friend, and I had a best friend, and they were brothers from this family who, again, were African American. And some kids, we have no idea who, some kids vandalized this family's house, and they wrote every derogatory racial slur you could think of, spray painted on these people's houses. These poor people, they were good people. Mm-hmm. And it was a huge fucking deal. I mean, I'm talking about a big deal. The police were involved. The schools were involved. Announcements were being made to try and track down the perpetrators. And we're talking about 1984, 1985. And I'm telling you, it was a big deal. Nobody thought it was okay. Nobody thought it was acceptable.
Of course, because it wasn't. This has always been an issue. Right. It's just
That's my point.
Yeah, it's a different time then than it is now. And I understand, the nature of things that have been going on as of, not even as of recently, even over the last 5-10 years. I get it. But to go back, and it's not just wrestling I'm talking about, to go back and start looking at all these things because, or change them rather, because of what's going on, I not only do I not agree with it, I don't think it's fair to do. You want to change things moving forward, and you want to do these things moving forward, okay. But you're gonna go back and mess with Dr. Seuss, Mr. Potato Head. What are the other things we talked about? Pepe Le Pew. I mean, come on.
Oh, and the new one, Captain Underpants.
Yep.
I don't know if you read that one.
No, I didn't. What are they doing with Captain Underpants?
Yeah, so the guy who did the Captain Underpants books, he did one where it was like two Magoo and Billy Who and their Kung Fu cavemen, and now they took that book off they're they're not producing that book anymore. They're banning that book because they had passive. It wasn't even like overtly racist. It was passive racist stereotypes towards Asians.
Mhm.
So that one's gone now.
Lou, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think you're right. We should not be going back and rewriting history. However, if you want to write less of that stuff going forward, if these people want to evolve and want to better themselves and stop writing racist material, I'm not talking about in Dr. Seuss's case. Obviously, that's not going to happen. But this Captain Underpants guy, maybe his next book, he doesn't want it to have any of those racial undertones.
Right.
So he changes. He evolves. I think that shows more character, more dignity than just erasing someone's past misdoings.
Yeah, I don't disagree with going back to whatever and changing it. What was the last part of what you said?
I said, I think the right way to go here, I think it shows more growth on a person to leave his past misdeeds in place and show his growth by him producing more stuff that maybe removes the racial undertones than just going back and sort of alleviating him of having to own up to the responsibility of his past racial stories.
Mm-hmm. But then again, who's determining that level of growth? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's always going to be something. I don't know. It's just it's one of those weird topics that I'm just like you're just like you said at the beginning when you started it. I get it. I completely get it. But if we're making decisions as to what's going to pass and what's not, let's somebody make a decision on what the time frame is. How far back are we going to go? You know, is it only going to be 20 years back? So from 2000 on, are we going to go 10 years back, and from 2010, till now, all of this stuff we can't do, and moving forward, we're not going to do? Like you can't go back to like the 50s and say, okay, all of this stuff should not have happened. No shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, look, this is the land of the free. And I could produce any material, any content that I want to. It could be racial. It could be sexist. It could be anything I want it to be. It's mine. And guess what? You have the freedom to consume it or not. I don't think we need to be censoring. I don't think that's a road. It's a slippery slope, and I don't think it's a road we want to go down. Mm-hmm. Put your stuff out. If you can get a publisher, or you can get a producer or a director or a writer or whatever you need, if you can get somebody to do it, or you do it yourself, you are free to publish anything you want. And if it sells, that says a whole lot more about our culture than us censoring it. Because you're right. Who's making that decision? And at what point does that completely undermine the system that we live in?
Are we totally going to gloss over the fact that Albert was in Yellowface as Tensai? Are we doing that? Let us not forget.
But again, that was funny. And that's acceptable in my book. I'm okay to watch it. However, I would be the first one to say, call me a hypocrite, because I'm not sure I'd let my kids watch it. Mm-hmm. And especially not at their ages now. But maybe when they got old.
I don't know if that makes you a hypocrite. I think that it is our job to kind of facilitate that. Like there are just certain things that a young mind cannot process. And as they start to develop and they start to learn about certain things, it's our responsibility to then guide them to understand, what it is that they're learning. I think it's innate, I guess, for lack of a better term, that our children are going to learn about, the things that happened in this country and why there's this divide. And I think it's really important to not let that content guide them, but to show them how the content can teach them. There is no difference. There is no divide. The divide was whatever it was, this this racism and prejudice and discrimination that has come as a result of a lot of years of just a lot of shit in this country does not dictate who you are going to be and how you have to look at anybody, because we're all human. And
Right.
I think those are the types of conversations that parents should be having with their kids. It's just my opinion.
Yeah. You know, I took a great college course once. I don't remember exactly what it was called, but it was a class about equality. It was a pre-law course.
Mm-hmm.
And we had some great debates in that class, and it was full of white people and black people and Asian people.
Mm-hmm.
But we were able to have some really heated discussions and debates, but keep things, right. Nobody was mad at anybody. It was cordial. We would say our piece, say what we believed, and then after class, everybody go their separate ways, and nobody was angry at each other. But at one point in the class, I pointed out this class took place on the third floor
Mm-hmm.
of the building, and it overlooked sort of like the center of campus.
Okay.
And, we talked about segregation a lot and the laws that the country puts in place and the government put in place and how they can tell you what's accepted, what's not. Whites can commingle with blacks. They can't, whatever the case may be. But when you look out the window and you look down upon the center of campus, and it doesn't matter that we were in the early 2000s at this point. It doesn't matter that at this point in history, our government says that whites and blacks can walk together and be together and talk to each other. When you look out that window, the whites are with the whites, the blacks are with the...
What just happened?
Probably one of the easier ways to make that determination without having to get to know each individual 100 human beings in that room. So
Right.
my point is, why is our government or whoever the authority is at the cock? Why are they the ones making the decision for us? Let us make our own decisions. This country was built on that premise. Let us consume what we choose and let us walk away from what we don't want.
Well, listen, after 32 minutes and 34 seconds, 35, 36 now, of serious talk, I want to say that I finally got the video working.
Yes!
And yep, it should
Can
be.
I see my ugly mug? Oh, look! Look!
Oh, God.
That's Bob!
No, take it off.
So, are we live?
We are still
color?
We are still live and in color, and you are in the
Yes!
mothership.
Yes! Let me get this all set up.
Stop
now.
moving the camera. You're making me dizzy.
Eat me.
Get like a stand or something, bro. Jesus.
How's that? I got to see the live feed. Let me get back into Skype. There we are.
Yep.
Alrighty.
All right, I'm
There we go.
gonna leave you guys video up, but take this down because there's a delay and I can't take the delay.
Right.
I saw that Bob had typed in the chat before, so the chat is functional.
Yes. For all 0 people that are following us.
Right, exactly.
Well, we have a 0 chat rate, but 8 playbacks.
On this episode?
Mm-hmm.
Is that us?
No, it shouldn't. Well, I don't think it is.
I don't know.
I would imagine that it's capturing unique. The total
Yeah,
number,
I
the
don't
total
know.
number of times the video has loaded, including page refreshes and change of camera angle. All right, so maybe not. The number does not increase when a viewer switches resolution.
I know I was on the page when I was searching for it, and I might have hit play a couple times, but not 8.
Okay.
Maybe 2 times, because I was trying to figure out the timing between the delay and whatnot.
All right,
But
Bob.
this is good.
Give us something fun
All
real
right.
quick. Take us home with something fun for a few minutes.
Fun. Gun control. Super abortion rights. Let's discuss.
Never mind.
Super light topic. No, I was pissed. I was just gonna mention I was really pissed. They're closing down, the PlayStation 3 store, the Vita store, and the PSP store. Sony's taking them all down coming this summer. I was pretty pissed because, I know it's like inevitable with the digital storefronts, but I was kind of shifting a lot of my collection to digital because for space reasons and such, to have like all these physical copies, as takes up a lot of space and everything. But now it's like I now have to kind of second guess and think about some of these because with the digital storefronts going away and not other than like emulation or pirating, there's not, for some of these games there's not many other options. And I just found it like ironic that backwards compatibility was a way to go to keep these games preserved and everything, but Sony's done a shitty job, Nintendo's kind of done a shitty job, and really the person who's done the best job, or not the company has done the best job, was fucking Microsoft. Because Xbox, backwards compatible with 360 and original Xbox, and I just find it funny that the company that didn't really have a history of backwards compatibility is kind of doing the best job with it. So.
Right.
Yeah, I read that too. I find that interesting. Kudos to Microsoft for getting it right. And the only caveat, I guess, would be is if this is sort of Sony moving towards making the PlayStation 5 more backwards compatible, through software to play, because everything you read, if you go and you read about backwards compatibility for the PlayStation 5, it's very carefully worded in that out of the box, the PlayStation 5 is not backwards compatible with the 1, the 2, or the 3. But it always says out of the box, which makes me think they have plans at some point to add some software to make it backwards compatible with the 1, the 2, and the 3. And maybe that's just wishful thinking. I'm open to that as well. But I just found the wording, the verbiage, very careful, cautious. But on that tip, I wanted to mention this as well. Have you guys seen the Sony free games for April?
I saw an article for it, but I didn't get a chance to open it.
Okay, so for the PlayStation 4, it made me think of you, Lou. That's why I'm mentioning this.
We lost video, by the way.
Oh, because you know what? I exited. Total or just mine?
No, total. Like it froze and then it disappeared.
Oh. Okay, well, that's not really that important right now. So for April, and I believe these games are debuting on April 6th, for the PlayStation 4, we are getting Days Gone and Zombie Army 4 Dead War. Garbage. And garbage.
No,
But
Days Gone is a pretty good game.
Yeah, I heard that, but that wasn't my point. Here is for the PlayStation 5 exclusively for free on April 6th, and this is what made me think of you, Lou. Releasing that day, Oddworld Soulstorm.
Oh wow,
What say you, Lou?
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think that is a good way to promote the system. I think that's a good way to get people in. I mean, if you think about it, minus the whole backwards compatibility thing, because I think Microsoft has done a better job with that. This is a good way for PlayStation to bring people into the system. You're only going for exclusives. Right? Yeah. Like I've toyed with the idea of just getting a PS5 for this generation, because not only will I be able to play whatever games I would have played on my Xbox, but I get all the Sony exclusives too.
Right.
And I, in my heart of hearts, I believe the Sony exclusives are a lot better than the Microsoft exclusives, excuse me, at this particular point. Who's to say how all of these studios that they're developing and that they're getting and that they're buying and putting on Game Pass and all this stuff won't somehow pay off in the future? It's already paying off. They've got a lot of content on that Game Pass between the EA stuff that they have now and Bethesda, and I've heard that they're trying to get Ubisoft as well. So, they're making moves in the third party department, but from a first party prospect, always, in my opinion, Sony's been on top with God of War, Gran Turismo. You even look at from PS4, you got Horizon, you got Spider-Man. Like, those are just 4 of some of the biggest exclusives that they have. So putting Oddworld as a free game, I think is a really good move. It's going to bring people who are Oddworld fans in and who remember the original one from the PlayStation 1 in. Plus, if you have a PS4 and you don't have a PS5, you can still make that free purchase and it will still come up when you do buy a PS5, which I think is pretty cool.
Right. So I believe the game is also releasing for the PlayStation 4. They're just not giving it away as a freebie on the PlayStation 4. Now, this game, it looks good. I watched some movie on it. I will say, 4 years in development is a little much. But the past is the past. It's here, or it will be here shortly. And I have to say, this is not a title that I would buy, if it was not a freebie. But as a freebie, I will get it. I will play it. I will look forward to it because I did have the original one. I did enjoy the original one. And I think, if nothing else, it will just be a nice trip down memory lane because it does look like just an updated, cleaner, crisper version. They added a lot of gameplay mechanics that weren't there initially. Look, I'm excited. I don't know how excited until I play it. I thought my son would be into it a little bit more than he was. He watched the trailer with me. It was gameplay, and I think there was some sort of a developer talking underneath it. And I thought he would be more excited than he was, but he sat there through the whole thing. He didn't say a word, and then when it was over, I was like, "What'd you think?" And he was like, "Meh, not really." Sorry.
Sucks, Dad.
Right.
Thanks
Call
a
me
lot,
when Harry
Dad.
Potter comes out.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that particular game is a niche audience anyway, right? I mean, I don't know if anyone who's never played an Oddworld game would look at it and pick it up. But I particularly love that series. So,
spoiler: there is a cutscene in the trailer where they show Abe cutting his mouth ties.
Oh yeah.
Or about to cut his mouth ties, and the story looks good. It really does. For the 3.5-minute video that I watched, it got me. It did. It got me. And at a cost of $0, I mean, how can you turn that down?
No, absolutely, I agree.
So, money stamp of approval, Sony. You win this round.
Yeah. Almost makes overpaying for the PS5 totally worth it.
You guys keep harping on that. I am still totally happy and totally comfortable with my purchase. It is my understanding that you still cannot find one. And the ones that you can find are now exorbitantly more money than I paid.
I heard some of the prices were coming down because these scalpers couldn't sell them.
Yeah.
Really? I know somebody else who just paid almost $350 more than I paid to get one a few weeks ago.
That person is an asshole.
Yes, they are.
That's the only people I roll with, Bob.
By the time I'm ready to get one, I will be fine.
Yeah.
Look,
me too.
No problems. No problems whatsoever. You guys are happy with your non-purchase, and I'm happy with my purchase.
That is very true. All right. Well, I think this was a good test.
I do too.
But I'm not gonna.
But nobody conquered my fucking mountain.
Well, nobody.
forget it.
We didn't really fucking intro the show either. We just kind of hit the live button and it
Yeah.
came in. So,
Just forget it.
well, I am going to thank everybody who came on and checked it out for however long you stayed. And we hope as we continue to figure this thing out, you come back. This was a test of the All Up in Your Geek broadcast. There is no emergency, but if there was one, I don't think we would have told you where to go anyway.
Yeah, right.
You will hear this.
I'm not even going to try to do the sound.
Gobble gobble.
Well, if you do come across this live recording and you are expecting a All Up in Your Geek on Monday, there will be no Level Up on Monday.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
We did this as a test. We're going to try to do a couple of new ventures here at All Up in Your Geek to keep our listeners happy and hopefully get some more community members coming in. So what I will say is if you have any suggestions, comments, concerns, you can send them to allupinyourgeek@gmail.com. And until next week, maybe, geek up.
Wednesdays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be there.